Okay, welcome everyone. Today I have Eric on the line. Eric is a graduate from my Man Transformation Experience 12-week program, and he was happy with his results, so he volunteered to give a video testimonial so that any of you guys who are thinking of joining can kind of get an insight into someone who was thinking about it, who joined, who went through it, and let's see where he's at now. So, hi Eric, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So yeah, let's jump right in. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. And yeah, the first thing I want to ask you is just so everybody knows, are you getting compensated in any way to do this, or are you just volunteering to do this?
This is completely voluntary.
Okay.
Yeah, because this was not mandatory. This was the thing that you asked, and I thought to myself, yeah, of course, I wanna spread the word of what this program can do if you take it seriously. So yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. So how about you just tell us what made you what made you join in the first place, and kind of like a backstory, like you were stuck for a while, or you were on the fence, or what happened that eventually made you join?
What eventually made, well, my women life prior to joining this program was pretty much, well, my dating life wasn't dead. I was dating some women and women that I found attractive and so forth. But I found that many of the women, like personality-wise, weren't perhaps that stable. I mean, mentally stable, you
Hmm.
could say. And so I had a breakup quite shortly before I joined this program, and that maybe was like a wake-up call. Like, okay, I really need to, figure out why I am constantly attracting weird ladies into my life.
Mm.
So I started basically asking myself a lot of questions, and just, I've been following Jad for a number of years, on and off, about 4 or 5 years prior to this program, and then I just figured, I mean, life is too short not to make everything. I mean, not to, how should we say, not to do everything in your power to get what you really want. And I
Hmm.
felt that this was a great way to really, I mean, to really get some knowledge from someone who is more experienced rather than trial and erroring for another 15 years and then you're older. So that's basically where I came from, sort of.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you wanted to shortcut your success and not reinvent the wheel. Basically, go to someone who's already figured it out
Yeah.
and speed up the process.
Yeah, and also I think that that's a reason I joined this program was probably 50% because of the women thing, of course.
Hmm.
But what really attracted me a lot was the whole how should you say, lifestyle change aspect of it. You don't only teach how to become good with women, you teach how to become a quality good man, and as a result of that you attract women. But with that transformation comes a lot of benefits that doesn't only involve dating the women you want. So that's another reason why I joined.
Bingo. That's exactly what it's about. How do you become the kind of man that attracts quality women? Yeah.
Mm.
So what were the what did you get the most out of the program? What were your breakthroughs? What areas did you kind of get a breakthrough or an improvement?
Well, the biggest fear I guess I had was like approaching women in real life,
Hmm.
because prior to this I was, basically all I did was online stuff, and it worked to a certain extent, of course. But I
Hmm.
mean, you're only you're only trying to eat about 5% of the cake if you do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just figured, I mean, I need to get over this fear, and that was one of the biggest things, because when I started doing it more consistently, I was like, it wasn't that bad. I mean, sure, I made a complete ass out of myself a couple of times, but it was like, it was no big deal, really. What was I afraid of,
Yeah. Okay. So you overcame your fear of talking to women in person,
Yeah.
approaching women.
Mm.
Okay.
And
What else?
also, yeah, what else? I mean, the biggest also breakthrough was like, you go very deep into the whole psychology of women and of people in general. And that really got me. I mean, that's something that really struck me as very powerful when I watched the videos on why women do the things they do and why men do the things they do. As some videos, I was
Mhm.
like, also that's why that happened in some prior relationship. So that's why that girl turned me down. Or you got this epiphany. You got, oh, okay, now I see why. It was okay. I had never figured that out on my own. It was like, oh, now I understand. And you can also, and you start to see, relationships that your friends have, and relationships that you see other people having. You're like, okay, this is why that's happening. That's why she's treating him that way, and so forth. You start to see all these patterns, and you start to see what you want and what you don't want from relationships and women in general. So that's another thing.
Yeah, exactly. We give you kind of like an understanding of the game, so that now you know what's going on, and so that equips you for the rest of your life to navigate, right? Because now you get it at that like primal deep level of, okay, why are they doing this? This causes this and that causes that, and yeah, that's very powerful. How about in terms of worthiness, self-esteem, that area? Did you feel that the program helped you increase your confidence?
Oh, tremendously. You can probably tell by the way I speak now and the way I spoke when I began this program, the way I carry myself, the way I dress. Previously I used to have, no one's perfect, and you never get this completely handled, I think. But I used to have these demons like 24/7 in my head, bringing me down, trying to, really get the best of me. But now you're just like, I walk around and I feel a lot happier. Doesn't matter if I'm doing today I was like working from home, and I'm a computer programmer, so I did a lot of code. I was working from home with my short pants and writing code, and half a year ago I would have been like, God damn it. And now I was like, it's pretty fun. The gratitude and everything that ties into self-esteem and self-worth, because you really learn to appreciate what you have, and so you feel that it is your duty to kind of honor that and to make your life even better, and that makes you feel better. But to tie this into self-esteem, all the affirmations that you teach to do, those are the things that really help the most with regard to self-esteem, because it's all about programming your subconscious mind. And if in the book Think and Grow Rich, they say something like, if you repeat something a certain number of times, eventually it will grow and it will become a reality. That's basically it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I have seen a lot of changes in you, and it's very exciting. And yeah, we saw a lot of breakthroughs in you, both from your your inner game and your outer game. One thing a lot of guys want that they don't have right now is that they're able to attract and date women that they're truly attracted to. So you have successfully, like last few weeks ago, you were making out with a girl that you were like, that was absolutely gorgeous. A few weeks before that, you also went on a date with a woman that was like totally gorgeous, right? Totally your type.
Oh yeah. So yeah, definitely. I haven't really thought about this. I haven't really counted the results, if you will. I've just been going on a train, like forward. But now when you say it, yeah, it's true. It has been. I have been dating some women that I've felt, meeting women and dating, whatever you call it, that I've been truly attracted to. And that's also a result of self-esteem. Not only that you feel that you have the power to do that, but also you set a standard. Because this is the type of woman I want, I'm going to go after her. Because if you don't have self-esteem, then you settle for something less. And that's probably the core of why many relationships fail in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So we worked on self-esteem. We work on worthiness. And, we get everyone going after the exact women they want and not having to settle. So
definitely.
Okay, here's another question. Did you feel during the course, because I think a lot of people, when they're looking at, oh, look, this coach, he's selling this coaching thing. He doesn't really care about me. He's only after the money. Did you feel that I truly cared about you as a friend, or did you just feel like, you were just treated as a number and being walked through some program?
I would say that after this program, and even like throughout this entire program, I would say that at a very early stage, I considered you as a personal friend, not only a coach. You can truly feel that, yes, you can be a bit, I mean, straight to the point, hard sometimes, but that's necessary. You know, you have to be honest with your students, and I truly feel that, you know, that you genuinely care and that you genuinely want to help people. That's the impression I got, and that's the reason why I contacted you in the first place, because you can tell that from your videos and from your ebooks and everything. So I definitely felt that, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. We're like friends, and when we're on the calls, it's like we're just like our mastermind calls are just like this brotherly
Mm.
friends environment where we just get together and we talk about man stuff, and
Mm.
you know, everybody cares about each other.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, definitely, and also the other members. I mean, they've also. I mean, we've all taken a deep look into each other's lives, so we become kind of brothers in a way as well, and that's the whole point of it, because you can't do this alone. You just can't.
Yeah, thank you. That's one thing that like that's a pattern among guys who get stuck for 2, 3, 5 years. You know, hey Jad, I've been following you for 3 years, 5 years, and they're still asking me basic questions. And
Mm.
I tell them, it's like, man, you need to get coaching. And the guys who get coaching, they've been stuck for 3 years before they come to me, or 5 years before they come to me. And then in 12 short weeks, some guys it takes a bit longer, but basically in a matter of months, you get unstuck because you join a mastermind group versus just doing the same thing. If you do the same thing over and over, expect the same result, right? If you've been stuck because you're going at it alone, well, you're probably going to stay stuck if you continue to go at it alone, right?
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Would you agree that I mean, I think you said this before, but just to clarify, would you agree that some things in the course would have taken you years to figure out, whereas now you just figured them out in a matter of months?
Ugh. Yeah, for me it would have taken years upon years upon years, and I mean, I see people who are in relationships in their 60s and their 70s, and they still haven't figured that out. I mean, yeah, I would have eventually figured out this maybe 60 or 70% of it throughout my entire life. But now I know everything that I need to know, basically, and you taught it to me in a very short period of time. So yes, definitely. I mean, I think people in general kind of look at this thing as kind of a thing to be frowned upon. Oh, he's doing dating coaching. What a loser. I mean, no. The couldn't be further from the truth, to be honest with you, because I mean, relationships and the dating life is a whole art on its own, and it's a very important art to master if you really want to live a very happy life. So if you can do this kind of thing and really get to the core and learn a lot of very important information about this subject, I mean, ultimately, if you take it seriously and if you apply the practices mentioned in the course, then you can ultimately live a much better life in the end, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the end of the day, I did a lot of when I was putting this course together, I did a lot of market research where I just took like I think 80 or 100 calls, and I just talked to guy after guy after guy after guy. And the pattern that I heard from so many guys is like, hey Jad, I have my life together, I'm making good money, I have a good job, I work out, you know, I have friends, you know, everything's cool, but I don't have women in my life. And, you know, no matter what I do, and no matter how much I travel, and no matter how many adventurous things I do, because I don't have anyone to share it with, it's just, I'm not happy. It's like equaling zero, right? And so we need the yin and the yang. Like we need, you know, joy comes like, joy is like experiences shared, right? When you can move through the world sharing these experiences with women, then that's where, you know, your life becomes kind of like, you know, complete. Now, you know, some guys are going to be like, oh, Jad, no, I don't need women to be happy. That's not what we're saying. We're saying be a happy human being and find another female happy human being. And then two independently happy people together, that's what creates really that, I think, that fulfilling life, right?
Yeah, I guess you could call it like an interdependent relationship where two happy people come together, not two needy people that desperately need love, but two healthy people, and I mean mentally healthy, physically healthy as well, but most importantly mentally healthy people who come together and who create an extraordinary life for themselves just because they found each other and they're both healthy. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I've seen real life example. Now that I know all of this stuff, I've seen real life example of this. I've seen, you know, people in my vicinity who don't, really, oh, I don't need a girl, but you can tell by their very by their very actions and their very words that they actually do want it, but they're kind of like pushing it away. But deep inside, they're very unhappy, And I see people in my vicinity who have, girlfriends and whatnot, and like quality girlfriends, and they're not only their happiness and their well-being is better, but their productivity skyrockets, because, as you say, a quality woman is a woman who supports her man in whatever he does, not a woman who's like, don't do that. That's not a quality woman in my eyes, at least. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was about to actually chime in and say, like, studies, they've done studies where they showed, and we talked about this on the mastermind call, like, men who are in long-term relationships, are in stable relationships, are more successful. So it's also like when you have a woman in your life, that's kind of like fuel, that's support, that's stability, that's accountability, that's you're inspired. So there are a lot of side benefits.
Really.
So after going through this coaching, do you feel that you have, obviously learning is a lifelong journey, but do you feel that you are left with the tools that you need in order to bring a quality woman into your life?
Yes, for sure. If I wouldn't have joined this program, I don't think maybe I would have gotten to that point, to be honest. Because there's so many things to learn, and there's so many layers upon layers upon layers, and there's so many concepts that you really need to master. And of course, you can't take it all in at once. I mean, you go into stuff like presence and diet and exercise and having a purpose and breathing deep, and not only that, but of course going out and talking in a certain way. You have standing your back straight. There's millions of things to think about, and obviously you can't apply all of those in those 12 weeks. You're just gonna have to take the things that you can do in a reasonable amount of time during the weeks, and do the best with what you have then. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I now feel that I am ready, and most importantly of all, worthy of attracting the woman of my dreams.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's the foundation, right? It's that you build that confidence and that self-esteem, and now, yeah, you know that I can do it and that I am worthy. So when you see that beautiful woman over there, instead of saying, oh, she'd never go for me, or I could never get her, instead you go and you take a shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because oftentimes those women surprise you. You're like, I like you. Oh, she's not gonna like, or she's not gonna like me. I do like you. Oh, you do? Oh, great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. What would do you have anything you would say to anyone who's thinking about getting coaching but who's on the fence? What would you say to a brother, let's say?
Well, if you have been considering this and you think, I mean, basically I would say just do it. Just do it, because stuff like this, it's really, I mean, this is a very, as I said before, it's a very important part of your life to get handled if you don't have it handled. And if it seems, I mean, like it seems like a big thing to invest in, I mean, it's your life. And if you want to really invest in yourself and not materialistic things, it's way better to invest in this kind of stuff, because it really builds you as a person, and it will help you get like maybe your relationship life handled, but also affect so many other areas of your life. So even if you're spending money right now on this thing, it will eventually pay off during all the other areas of your life if you take it seriously. So I would say to any guy who is like considering this, and if he feels that he isn't getting what he wants in his women life, then I would say just go. Don't think about it. Just go, because you're not going to regret it.
Okay, cool. So basically, it's an investment that will pay you back for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I will also say, like, don't think, as I was talking about a little before, don't think of this as a thing to kind of be frowned upon. It's not really. It's I mean, people, I mean, people nowadays, they do all kinds of stuff to improve their lives, and I mean, this is an age where information is available everywhere. So why don't use it and use it as best as you can and invest in yourself?
Okay, so what you're saying, you see, because I've been doing this for so long, I forget that some people may have shame around just getting coaching around this area.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
I
so you're
remember.
saying some men actually it's an ego thing where it's like,
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely felt a little like that in the beginning. And I'll tell you a very funny story. I think you know this, but I'll tell it just because, because when I was joining this program, I was like, you told me to like write kind of a short introduction for myself in the Facebook group, and I accidentally posted it on my private Facebook.
oh yeah, on your personal
I
Facebook,
remember
yeah.
that. I was like, God damn it, what did this? It looked like an ad for a dating site or something. I'm like, oh damn it! And everyone was commenting like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, ugh.
Oh, this random. Yeah, what's this random?
What the fuck is this? And then, but then eventually, basically what I did was the people who saw that. I just contacted them and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm not ashamed. I just told them straight up, this is what I'm doing. And all of them, these were like 4 or 5 people, all of them were like, really? That's really, they were like, they weren't like, oh, they were like, God damn it, that's very strong of you to do. Because many of the people I talked to, they're like, oh, I haven't gotten my women life handled at all. And I wouldn't even, dare to do such a thing because I don't think I could do it. And I'm like, sure you can. So I think deep down, many people, they really, I mean, the reaction I actually got was actually respect from those people because they were like, "Oh, you're doing this for real, really? Yeah, I am." So it was like nothing to be ashamed of. It's the opposite. You're actually taking a stand for making your life the best that it can be.
Boom. That's exactly what it is, right? Take a stand for your right to have an amazing life. That's what we're doing, man. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and another way to look at it I'm just like right now I'm just because I never think of the fact that someone would be ashamed of this because it's my job, right? It's like it's so normal to me. But another way to look at it is like what we're doing right now is like we're kind of like the generation of men who weren't raised. Back in the day, family, there was more time for family, right? We would sit with our fathers. We would sit with our uncles. We would sit with our grandfathers. There would be family, and then those lessons would be passed down naturally because family spent time together. But now we're living in a world where our parents are forced out. They're forced to go work 40, 50, 60 hours a week to put foods in our mouth, to put a roof over our heads. And so we're not getting raised properly, not because our parents aren't good, but because they were just trying to survive. And so what we're doing now as men in this century or in this time is that we're gathering together and we're sharing this wisdom with each other because as a replacement for what should have been passed down by our forefathers. So in fact, it is very natural what we're doing and definitely nothing to... It's been done throughout the ages. The format is just changed now because we're what's the word? We're supplementing, that void with a mastermind of our own, right? If we weren't raised, we raise ourselves.
Definitely, and it's a funny thing that you say, and I think that's one of the reasons why guys like you have come into the light, I would say, because as a result of the world, the state of the world right now, there are many people who are raised in a weird way, and so weird relationships tend to happen in that environment. I mean, look at the divorce rates now. It's crazy. So definitely, and also I think the world right now is in a very transitionary state in terms of many things, and
it is.
these things really tend to happen when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, right now, everybody's saying, I mean, even the experts, they're like, nobody knows what's going on. I mean, literally, nobody knows what's going on. The world is changing so quickly. We're all just trying to adapt. We're all trying to, And so, there's this saying, in a hyper-connected world, we're more disconnected than ever. It's like, right now, more people than ever are lonely. More people than ever are alone. More people than ever now, they don't know how to connect with people, whether it's with women or even to have friends. Guys are starting to ask me, "Hey, Jad, do you know how I can make male friends?" It's like that's where it's going, right? So again, the importance of these gatherings that we have, instead of coaching, we can call these gatherings, right? Gatherings around a virtual fire. These gatherings that we have are supplementing that and enabling us to get that confidence, get that power. And the only way to really generate power is when men come together and have these high level discussions, right? So yeah, thank you for reminding me, because I always say that you're taking a stand for your life. That's ultimately what this is about, right? This is about women, but this is much bigger than just women. It's about saving your life and setting yourself up to have a wonderful future.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, cool. So want to keep it short. Anything else before we go, or have we covered everything you wanted to say?
Well, I would say that to close it up, I mean, getting this part of your life handled requires a lot of work, and I have done a shit ton of work, and I have made a shit ton of progresses. But it's still like after this program, you really what it is that you said, that you get the tools required in order to really get it to the hand. So now I'm gonna continue to do all of this stuff for sure. I'm still gonna watch the videos. I'm still gonna do the affirmations. I'm still gonna do that for the rest of my life, basically, because you really need to remind yourself. And so I would say that I've accomplished maybe not everything I set out to do, but about 55 to 70% for sure. And so I'm very, very happy with the result, and I'm extremely happy and very grateful for joining this program.
Excellent. And it was honestly a pleasure to have you, and I really you contributed a lot to the mastermind calls, and I really enjoyed them. And you still have some left, so I'll continue to enjoy you for a while. Okay, thank you so much, Eric, for taking the time and sharing, and hopefully this has inspired some guys and given them some clarity.
I hope so. Glad I could help.
All right, take care.
Take care, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks for watching the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to finally get this part of your life handled, then go over to jadtjones.com and watch the masterclass. On that free masterclass, you will learn all the details about coaching and how it can benefit you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Time after time, I get men who have been stuck for 2 years, 3 years, even 5 years. And then finally they come and have coaching with me, and we get them unstuck and dating women they're truly attracted to in a matter of 3 to 6 months. So if you're sick of wasting your time and wasting your life and going at this on your own, join us in our next online coaching program. Go to jadtjones.com and watch the masterclass for more details.